Cool. I was on the call one other time.
Is that right? Yeah.
Dan gonna be around?
Well, Dan is here right now. We're just getting ready to log in, but he's just going to get us started. And he's got a break because he's got to head to some kind of a job related thing. So,
Ernest, my speakers were muted. I didn't realize it.
That's okay, sir. How are you? I'm gonna turn on the camera here because we got some people here in the facility, so you can say hello.
Hey, everyone.
We have about 4 people that showed up here physically, and we'll see who shows up online there, brother. So
yeah, I'll turn my cam on real quick and just say hi. I'm in the process of packing for a short trip to California for a work holiday party. So I'll be flying out tomorrow and then flying back on Thursday. So
awesome.
I was actually not planning on being at my computer still, but you know how it goes.
It worked out. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, cool. You know, I got you, brother. We'll check in with everybody here and everybody that shows up and see what interest they have and what questions they may have. And you know, we always appreciate it.
I made you the host and I turned off the waiting rooms, so you shouldn't have to worry about people. Should be able to just pop in.
Okay.
If people get unruly, you got the power to boot them.
Yeah, well, you know that I got no problem with doing that, but it won't be like that.
You know it, man. You know it. You have the power.
Yeah, you never know, but usually we have a good host of people. So
yeah. Well, I'm sorry that I can't really join tonight. I'll see you in January though, and right. Happy New Year and buy the dip.
All right, brother. All right, take care. Good to see you.
Have a good day.
All right. Yeah. So have I met you? Have you been on a previous campaign with us? Okay. Well. Okay. And your name? TJ. Nice to meet you, TJ. And I'm Ernest. I'm one of the hosts. We've been doing this probably now about since 2016. And of course, as you know, at that time, Bitcoin kind of tanked for a while. But I think a lot of things were in early adoption at that point, and I'm grateful for the blockchain in general. Because of the blockchain, Bitcoin was created, which gave other developers, because as you know, the blockchain is open source. So, it's always open for developers, and that's what we see Ethereum and some of these other projects that are doing pretty well. Okay. And so our perspective is always to just talk about all things Bitcoin or anything particularly that anybody have interest in or have questions about. It's pretty much the format that we do. We get some great people checking in from all over the world, particularly during the pandemic. We had lots of people checking in from Canada, Oregon, California. We even had some people as far as the East Coast, because everybody wants to learn what they can. And our primary objective is we started this for our locality, okay, but we kept it open to where it could blossom globally for anyone that wanted to chime in. I found that in podcasts, as you know, overall, is consistency, right? If you can consistently show up, people have an interest, and they'll start to show up, and they'll start to ask questions. And we've had some great conversations over the past 5.5 years, almost 6 years now, right? We've learned a lot about blockchain in general. We've learned that a lot of people get taken advantage of because we know 90% of the world doesn't even own any crypto, okay? And so that's a bad and a good thing, right? Because, of course, it's bad because integrity is huge. And there's a lot of hungry developers out there and programmers. And sometimes they take on projects that, they may not have done due diligence on the individual that's wanting to pay, and then it ends up, some people, because it's all about scalability, whatever it is that you're doing. What interests you primarily? You might want to be a solo miner, then we educate you and generally have some people that maybe have some experience in doing that or give you a good concept of how to start that, if that's your interest. We've had people from 18 to, 65 years old that have an extreme interest. We've had a lot of personal friends that have gotten involved in some things previously that we were involved in. But again, I think most people enter into it with no ill intentions. They get excited about it. Of course, when you go out and you have a meal somewhere, it was enjoyable, you tell someone. Hopefully when they go, it's what you said it was, right? You know what I mean? So you kind of look at it like that, right? It may not be that way for you in your experience, but you never know. It could be a bad cook that night or whatever, but you understand what I'm saying. It's to educate the people. It's not about the money for us, because you know what? we lost a lot of money, you know. At the same time, you know, we had no intentions of losing any money, but we learned a lot when we lost that money. It's just, you know, you automatically get smarter, do a little bit more research, you know. And so for us, it's been an enjoyment, because even the people that got involved in it, we had other opportunities that progressed, because you have to have a platform to build upon, right? And so even though Bitcoin is the most popular and the first crypto out there, it opened the door for all the other opportunities, you know, whether people believe in the project or not. Then you have to learn the concept of, you know, what is a Bitcoin? You know, what is scalability? What is proof of stake? What is proof of work? All of these things that, you know, nobody's ever heard of before, right? So, you know, you have to take the time to share the information with them and let them make their own decision. And that's what we love to do, because when the light bulb comes on, because you can't avoid it, you're not going to stop cryptocurrency, okay? And so we educate people the difference between centralization, the concept of banks and why they don't like it, and they probably won't ever like it. It may take a while for that monetary system to be dismantled. Maybe I won't see it in my lifetime, but one thing's for sure, it's early adoption, okay? Satoshi, he or she or a group of people found a monetary system where there was a trust built. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it's all about. It's about trust and credibility. So, you know, you eliminate a lot of people's jobs, so you can understand why, you know, how do they slam the markets all the time with negativity, right? You know, people are emotional. You know, they get scared. You know, am I going to lose? You know, I mean, you know, you never should jump in with more than what you can afford to do, right? You know, but you want to test the waters, right? To see, is this thing real? Is it, you know, then when you start to do the engagements with other people that believe in the platform like you do, and it is for the millennials and their children and their children, okay, you're just not going to stop it. It's so exciting to me, but I got 2 degrees in computer science, so, you know, I understand zeros and ones and stuff like that. So, you know, when you have that basic background, a lot of it makes sense to me, where, you know, I got to check myself sometimes, because some people just don't understand. And you think they understand, but they don't understand. So, you know, you kind of have to dumb it down. And that's what we try to do. We try to dumb it down, get to the foundation, learn these perspectives, and you should do very well. It just depends on what you want to do. So have you guys have any or crypto that you already, okay, we have a person here. Hello.
Hey,
Hi,
everyone.
Ben. How you doing?
Doing
How are
well,
you?
yourself?
Okay. Have you been here before?
No, this is my first time.
Well, welcome, welcome. You can see everybody here. What we are doing is we're allowing people to, you know, log into the Zoom, because we were doing a lot of Zooms during the pandemic height, and everybody learning and figuring it all out. And now we've gotten to a point where we've actually enjoyed people physically coming to the location. So we're just doing a combination so people can be and do whatever is comfortable for them.
Oh,
So
nice.
welcome. So your first time here, let's go around. You can see everybody, right?
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm Ernest. I'm one of the hosts. You see Dan's picture up there, but Dan's not actually there. He's on his way to get on the plane. But he's my co-host. And we do this thing. Dan has been with me probably now going on 3 years. Prior to that, my business partner, Kyle Weiss, and myself started this. Again, for locality, for Bellingham, anybody in Washington that had an interest. And we talk about anything that you want to talk about, anything that you have questions about. We try to do our best to answer those or point you in the right direction. So do you own any crypto?
Sorry, say that over time.
I said, do you own any crypto?
I am trying to.
Okay.
I hear the hype about it, so I was kind of intrigued.
Well, you know,
on it.
everybody gets intrigued, but you know, as they get intrigued, they want to make sure, okay, is this legitimate, right? So,
Yeah.
all right, so you're brand new. So have you experienced, or do you understand what an exchange is?
No.
Okay. Well, let me just kind of dumb that down for you. An exchange is exchanging your worthless fiat currency and exchanging it for cryptocurrency. You need an exchange in order to do that. That's why the exchanges do so well, because they know that you can't convert your paper money unless you come to an exchange. And then that's where the fees come in, right? It just depends on what cryptocurrency you're using. You need a platform to exchange it either way it goes. I refer people coming in for the first time two options.
Mhm.
Cash App. But remember, even with Cash App, you can connect your debit card to Cash App. You can do, but you have to do KYC. Now, most people have a Cash App card because they can share or exchange fiat currency amongst family members and not have to pay a fee. Okay, so it's good in that aspect. But also, Cash App allows you to acquire Bitcoin only. Okay, now when you try to do that, you have to do KYC. What is KYC? Know your customer. It's no different than you going to a bank and opening up a bank account if you're a banker. They're going to ask you for an ID, official ID, and a social security number. Or if you're opening up a business account, they're going to want your EIN number. Okay, depending on how you're structured as a sole proprietor, perhaps maybe an S corp or LLC. If you're doing any marketing, and then with this crypto space, I suggest LLC. Because you can write off a bunch of stuff. And a lot of people are concerned about taxes. It's going to be a little while, folks, before they catch up on taxes. I just basically tell people that right now they're trying to figure it out, okay? Unless you are like the banks require, if you have accumulated about $10,000 or more of fiat currency in a bank, you're required to report it to the IRS, okay? So how do we refer Bitcoin right now? I would say because it's on the futures as a commodity at the moment, okay? All right, unless you are selling $10,000 worth of Bitcoin. Yeah, would you please? Thank you. I usually unlock it, but I got my device up front, so I'll just do it. So, so that's the concept. The concept is you're in the right place, seek education. And what you'll find is you'll find people on different levels. Some more advanced, like myself. I've been doing it for a while. But in most cases, we can get your questions answered, help you to get started. There's opportunities out there. I'm sure you've heard a lot of buzz about altcoins and stuff like that. I just make people in reference to altcoins, which you can do that. There's some people that want to trade. We try to make sure that we can provide every platform that might be of interest to people, because some people do very well if they have that kind of time. I refer to that as like a penny stock. Okay, if you have the time to. Good evening. How are you? If you have the time to day trade, that means you got to get up when the market's open and so forth, so on, and that's a job in itself. So all this time you have over your head. I mean, I tell people it's the same way with the altcoins. Okay, it's just like anything. It's under penny. You jump in and it goes up to a penny, 2 pennies, 3 pennies, and you got that kind of time to stay on it. Cool your profit or your reward, and just continue to roll with whatever you initially started with. Is what I generally tell people. So that's where it's at. So we can get you started. Hang out. We're going to probably be here till most people can leave when they want, but we'll usually here till for 2 hours, depending on how many people we have. And we have a good turnout, so welcome, guys. Thank you for showing up. Physically, I didn't know, because I was just expecting people to be online, but it's open for both platforms. I had forgot I was trying to sign in with my friend here, Jenny. I kept hearing do on the door because I could hear pretty good. I usually unlock it, but I got kind of tied up because I was making this transition between Dan, as he looks like he's physically here, but he's not. He's on his point to the place. And so hold on just a second here. Zubaida?
Zubaida.
Zubaida?
Yeah.
Okay, Zubaida. I want to make sure I'm always correct with the names. Hold on a second. We have a new participant and just want to introduce him and find out what your name, sir, is? Haji. Haji? Haji. Nice to meet you, Haji. Okay. Haji? Okay, awesome. Okay. All right, cool. Well, welcome. We're glad to see you here. And this is your first time, obviously. I don't believe I've ever met you. Have you joined us online before? Or? No, I just moved. Oh, did you? Okay, awesome. Okay. All right. Well, welcome. Welcome. You're in a good place. We're all here learning every day as we are able to. We do this once a month, but people have access to us at any time if they become a member of our group. We have about 300 plus people that are members. I don't think everyone has shown up all at one time. But pretty close when we were across the parking lot in our other facilities. We were usually packed out every night, because people were actively, but that's when we were having to wait 24 to 48 hours for a transaction. So it gives you an opportunity to understand how advanced the whole space has become, and it will continue to. Okay, you got DeFi savings accounts out there. We're dealing with NFTs, tokenized real estate. There's all kind of possibilities now. It's just like it's exciting to me. I'm involved in a couple of opportunities where I jumped on board of a project called G999 is what it's called. Okay, and it's our own coin. We're on all the major coin exchanges, and right now we're the same price Bitcoin was in 2008 for 3/10 of a penny. So 6K, 1 million G999, just hold them. If you want to pass, we have a passive opportunity, and we have an opportunity for you to work with others and share with others, allow them to also take advantage of the whole ecosystem. Because that's really what it's all about. Ethereum, the same thing. ER20, you believe in the project. Well, now the problem is they're going to Ethereum 2, and the biggest problem is the gas fees. Right? So a lot of people that have Ethereum, it's like it's a fortune to like move $1,000. You're paying almost $100 in fees. But that's the whole reason for what they did the middle of this summer. I guess you can refer to it as their splitting of the coin, so to speak. They're going to go to a layer 2, and that's supposed to hopefully overall make it cheaper, right? But it's popular because it provides what Bitcoin didn't. They only minted so many Bitcoins. It was never set up to be able to do some of the things that these new projects are able to do. But because of the original blockchain and Satoshi, he or she or a group of people, this opportunity was third. We've had a 13-year track record of it not being hacked. So we know it's a contract. It's just like a physical contract. People don't read the fine print a lot of times. That's how they get caught up in court. But this is written on the blockchain. Yes. Yes. Yes, I do. And if you want to, just go up if you want to take a picture of the modem up front, and it has the little the password on the side on the little label. You want to bring that, and then maybe anybody else that wants to look into it. So
Thank you.
yeah. So I know a whole lot, but it's not about me. It's about what you guys are doing. What you want to know. Where we can elaborate and make it. Do you own any Bitcoin or currently right now? Okay, so you're kind of new as well. And what is Ben your last name? Zibidi?
Yeah, you can
Zebediah?
call me Ben. That's my middle name.
Zabida. Huh?
Yeah. I said you
Zabida.
can just call me Ben. That's okay.
Okay, man. Okay. That prompts a good song that I used to hear. I'm sure you heard that version with Michael Jackson with Ben. The two of us need look no more. You heard that song? Oh, okay. Okay, well, anyway, forget that one. That's a song that Michael Jackson did years ago when he was young. And it was about a rat, I guess. And I think they made a movie. Remember? You can remember that? Yeah. But anyway, it's a great name anyway. And so you don't know anything about exchanges either, right? You've never had an exchange? You know about exchange? Okay, so you do or don't have any cryptocurrency? You don't have any Bitcoin. Okay, but you do have, that's why I asked you. Well, that's the most popular coin. Okay, all right. So you do have some cryptocurrency. So possibly Ethereum, Tether. You don't have any Tether? Okay. What I was alluding to earlier, folks, is the breakdown of coin. Utility or state. Those are the two coins. Okay. Tether is popular because those that want to trade, you can convert it into Tether, and Tether holds 100% of its value. So it doesn't matter what fluctuation of crypto is. So that's for trading. That's why I tell people, that's why Tether is so popular. Okay. So if you're out trading, whatever I call it, gambling, but whatever, just being honest, because you have to stay on top of it, right? You need to learn the altcoins. Altcoins will make you money, but you need to be on it every day. You need to set up notifications. You need to know, when it's gone up so that you can quickly pull your profit out of it. It's just like anything else. You just have to learn it, right? And so what about you? What's your name?
Right.
Ray. So do you have any crypto?
I do.
Okay. So you know what an exchange is. Okay, awesome. And you yourself, right? You obviously.
Yeah. We've been playing with crypto since 2018.
Okay.
And we're invested in mostly Bitcoin, but kind of weighted by market share and a bunch of other altcoins as well. And so, and we in fact just started mining helium.
Okay, yeah, I'm a part of the Eden Bible. Yeah,
I'm excited about that.
yeah,
So
I
talking
mean,
to people
yeah,
about
of course, the HNT.
yeah, and we bought on a couple of exchanges, but we've also used some person-to-person
Okay.
platforms. I'm kind of excited about those and what they represent. Because, I mean, like Bitcoin especially, but also those are kind of represent freedom, financial sovereignty. So like that's why I'm like
There
really
you go,
excited to
brother.
support the industry, both from a personal financial standpoint, but then also just on principle, because I feel like so much that's wrong with the world right now is because of the financial system.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Why are we bailing out bankers in 2008 when they should have just failed? Because that's not capitalism.
Exactly.
That's not markets, the best market rising to the occasion of capitalism. That's I don't know, that's something else. That's not.
It's called 1913. What was that island that they all gathered at? The top wealthiest people the world created the Federal Reserve, which is not actually a federal agency, but they monitor all the money. But see, most people don't know that. They didn't teach that in school. And even I talk to guys in college today, and they don't teach it in college today. It's a system of wealth, and it divides. There is no. I don't believe there's any racism. I just believe that there's the field is not level monetarily, and the only people that understand that is people that live in third world countries where remittance. You have a global opportunity, but we get normally 100% of whatever it is that we put into it. Where what is it remittance issues in those countries? They may get maybe 60 cents of that same dollar that we get because we're Americans and the opportunities coming out of America globally. This is why the Security and Exchange Commission is so hard on anybody operating outside of the United States, right? And generally, I'm not saying I've learned that it's not a rule of thumb, but if there's a reason they're not operating in the United States, that means that's a compliance issue, right? And if you're not compliant, it may last for a short period of time. I'm looking for long-term investment opportunities where it creates financial legacy wealth, okay? And you can't get there without education, okay? And you can't get there because there's no tree that exists that just drops money off the tree. I don't understand, but it's a mindset. People really, it's people that think poor, you think poor. What is middle class? There is no middle class. It's only those that have and those that have not now, okay? But I'm just saying, what did the middle class do? They save. They learned to save their money. They bought a house, they bought property. They made investments the best way that they could for legacy purpose. And what is the wealthy? The wealthy looks for what? More ways to make money. So they understand the difference between depreciation and appreciation. So when they invest their money, they're investing it in an appreciating asset. It's like a chairman of this company I'm with right now, very wealthy, 40, self-made billionaire, 48 years old, from Croatia. He owns a Bugatti. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Bugatti. Have you ever heard of Bugatti? Okay, so you understand how much a Bugatti costs, right? And guess what? They only made 40 of them. So that's why they're worth $5 million. And his is worth more because he said, take the French flag off. And I want a certificate of certification, and I have the only Bugatti without the French flag. So what does that do? That shoots the appreciation of his Bugatti up above those other 39 Bugatti. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's crazy. It's a car. $5 million. Yeah, that's an appreciating asset. You're not driving that except on Sunday, maybe. But if you set in a $5 million car, man, what a feeling. I didn't see $5 million car. Oh my goodness. But I mean, this is how his lifestyle is. He's got 2 jets, 2 helicopters, he's got security. But he does. You know what he's doing? He's a philanthropist. And he wants to make millions. That's his goal. That's his vision. And he set it out through crypto, through NFTs, through tokenized real estate. We own a 36-story building right in the heart of Dubai. You can buy tokenization. You can buy 1 square inch of real estate in Dubai. Now, if you do a search on Google, And it's like a booming Las Vegas was years and years ago in the desert. And most of the buildings are owned by the Saudi princes and stuff like that. And, big investors that are coming over there. The average square foot in Dubai is probably anywhere from $1,300 to $1,400 a square foot. And we just get it by smashing the button because he owns the building. And he gives it to the members. You have to be a member. So that's called early adopting, an opportunity that's not been opened up to the general public until late June of this year. Okay, it's an amazing project. So these are the opportunities. A lot of people out there looking for early adopter opportunities in this field because it is so burgeoningly tapped right now. I mean, DeFi savings account where you can compound, you can get loans against your crypto. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this was unheard of like in 2016, 2015. It's like, I mean, you understand, you've been a part of this for a while.
Somebody said that your Bitcoin actually.
Yeah, as collateral. Because you know what? And then you don't have to worry about the payment because when it appreciates.
You take out another loan, you pay back.
There you go. See what I'm saying?
That's what Michael Saylor's.
Yeah, exactly. I follow Michael
That's
Saylor.
what wealthy people do.
That's
right?
what they
So you buy a piece of commercial real estate, for whatever, $5 million, and then you just sit on it, and you can actually take out loans against that real estate and never sell the underlying asset and live off of that one investment for the rest of your life. So I think that's what's so cool about crypto is it gives everybody an opportunity
To do
because the growth is really still going to be gargantuan steps. What, Ernest, in fact, I want to ask you, what would you say to people when they ask you, is it too late to invest in Bitcoin? Is it too late to get some of these projects? Is it still going to be a good investment?
That's what I would.
What do you say to people?
I tell people that it's never too late. I tell people you would have a better opportunity if you took advantage of Bitcoin back in 2008 when you could have got 3,000 Bitcoin for like pennies on the dollar. At the price today, you would be one. That's what I would tell them. But it's fractionalization. Okay, you can buy a Bitcoin, but you can only buy a fractionalization unless you're a big baller. Today I think I looked at it a few minutes ago. It was up to almost 50. Yeah, see what I'm saying? So I mean, you have to look at that. So, a person that has that kind of money, you think they're going to put it in a Bitcoin without any education, not knowing what they're going to do or how they're going to use that? See what I'm saying? Again, education. There's always opportunities. There's more opportunities now than there was when Bitcoin was created. So that's what I would tell them. I know for a fact that I'm involved in quite a few things. I'm making some money. And so, no, it's not too late because there's coins out there that are still going to do well. You just have to educate yourself how you want to invest. You want to invest enough to just hold them. Most Bitcoin millionaires just held their coins when everybody else bailed out.
Like altcoins and stuff like that.
Well, that's what an altcoin is. Altcoin to me is just like a penny stock on
Yeah,
S&P, NASDAQ, or the other one. Okay, I mean, and then there's futures, and then there's other opportunities. You just have to educate yourself on what works for you. That's what I'm saying. But, I mean, that's a long version of saying it, but I don't think it's too late. It just depends on how much knowledge you have and exactly what you want to do in the space. That's what I would tell them. Because there's
thing where it's like Bitcoin is broken down into small increments. So
exactly.
divide you said Bitcoin, but that's a big number. Break down to smaller numbers and equal something like 0.025 of a Bitcoin.
Right.
Each person in the world.
Exactly. Right.
Well, yeah,
If you look at it
because
from that perspective.
Right.
you can actually-
Exactly.
And then
Exactly. But there's people out there that want more.
Right.
It's called greed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well,
It was 2008.
Exactly.
And then the other thing to know about too is that there is only so much Bitcoin. And that's something to always take into consideration because just as
Well,
You
we're up
get-
on almost the second to the last split, I believe. If I'm tracking it
and
right.
then basically it will get more valuable.
That's the whole purpose of decentralization and DeFi savings, because you can burn coins now. You can burn coins in an ecosystem, and just like Ethereum has its own ecosystem. Everything functions off of that ecosystem. That's why it's kind of gotten out of hand with the fees, right? I'm saying, because it's the ecosystem. If you believe in the ecosystem, that's why people are still hold it and still buy it, because it does serve a huge purpose for other coins that are coming behind it, because just like Bitcoin launched Ethereum, which launched Litecoin. If you got an old 386 computer, you can mine Litecoin in the wintertime, just set up a master node on it and it'll generate, coins for you.
So the Bitcoin kind of like a commodity, like it's a digital gold.
Pretty much, yeah.
And then,
Well, not so much the currency, it's service oriented. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, they're still trying to figure out. They do have Bitcoin ATM machines, but there's a lot of places where people want to go and pay for their dinner or pay for their beverage. In the United States, we haven't gotten it on that level yet. Now, Asia, Pacific Rim, they don't even use debit cards, man. Amazon has these stores where you walk in and you just scan a QR code. That's what they have. They have QR code. So
Strike is a really popular one because it uses the Bitcoin rails. So it uses Bitcoin as a transaction platform for instant finality, for cash finality. Yeah, and it does US dollars. So like you can open the app, or it's a plug-in through your desktop through your browser too. You can like make a purchase and it will come out of your dollar or whatever your local currency is. So that's why they're using Central America, like El Salvador just made Bitcoin legal.
legal currency.
Right? So like it'll take pesos out of your app or whatever they're paying in El Salvador. It'll take it out of your bank using the Bitcoin platform. So use the Lightning Network, which is the second layer protocol, through your app on your phone and save it in Bitcoin, pesos, dollars, and it happens really fast, but it operates, and it's just like Visa or MasterCard, except instead of using these global servers from this private company all over the world to expedite those transactions, it's a private company who's sort of got
those
those transactions.
Those are custodial wallets.
So it's like, are they technically like custodian?
Pretty much, pretty much, because
Like,
they own the wallets.
Yeah.
So you want to take, like, if you're buying on there, because they have pretty good rates, I think, or if it's a spread, I guess it is, they do pretty good at that. And then,
Yeah,
so you collect it maybe on there or buy it when you can, and but then you can transfer it into your own wallet.
Yeah, exactly.
I think what you're saying is that the accessibility is too high.
Yeah, it's 1-to-1. And it's a lot cheaper. The fees are lower. So a lot of people now, like I'm really excited about bringing Bellingham Strike Wallet, or just the Lightning Network in general, because it's really easy to do, and there's no fees, or the fees are so low that it's like, compared to the transaction, it's way less.
Compared to a Coinbase.
Yeah,
Buy
exactly.
Coinbase, so
Exactly.
transfer, trade services on Coinbase. It's like 88 cents.
Right. So like, for example, the citizens of El Salvador, because they're using a Strike app to do payments to each other, even if people are using remittances, meaning that someone in the United States is sending money to El Salvador using the app, the person in the United States sends dollars over the Bitcoin network, goes to the Strike app in the local person's wallet, they receive pesos, it happens instantly and there's no fee. Whereas, and because of that, what's the big one that's American? Western Union is losing like $420 million.
MoneyGram,
$400 million.
Western
$400+
Union.
million. Just that one company, Western Union, is losing $400 million worth of business that they would charge people to make those international payments. So
And it would normally be very expensive to send money.
it's small payments, you can be paying up to 20%.
Mhm.
If you send less like $100.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, I think, something like that.
Yeah, it's pretty high.
It's pretty high.
Yeah.
Small.
But for people from Mexico, El Salvador, the Caribbean countries, we just have never had any other alternative. So this gives them more opportunity. I think that when they did that in El Salvador, all the citizens received like $30 worth of Bitcoin or something like that when they finally said that. So that allowed them to obviously create a wallet. And then, you go to the extent also that even if you get into some projects, you have wallets. But always remember, I have a signature card. I always also have a taser. So I can pull all my crypto from wherever it is and carry it with me all the time. I call it the taser. You know, the treasure.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, yeah,
Treasure. Okay, that's
yeah,
different.
yeah, taser. Yeah, the treasure. And I can carry all my coin with me anywhere I go in the world. As long as there's an ATM machine, I can call up.
And you don't have to pay for those fees to transfer your money from your currency to their currency.
Right,
You
exactly.
just take out money from your account without losing.
Exchange
Without losing
fees.
the Exchange fees and
Right.
stuff
So
like
then,
that.
can you put that from the hard wallet?
Yeah.
Wi-Fi here.
It's going to be CenturyLink,
I don't really.
either 2.4 gigahertz or 5 gigahertz. CenturyLink or something like that. 19. There should be 2 of them there. Either one, as long as you got the password, it's the same kind.
That's the.
So you really think like, okay, so if I wanted to go home
Oh,
tonight
great. I didn't see it yet.
and buy
I think it's not
$500,
for-
like, let's say the price was good with Bitcoin, I wanted to buy $500 worth of Bitcoin. Or, you know, I'm not gonna go like buy 59,000, you know, I'm not gonna buy a whole.
But
bunch, but-
so that's fractionalization.
But I'm just
You're buying a
saying, like,
fraction.
so you think it still would be a good investment?
Yeah, it just depends. You know, you bite off as much as you want to bite off, and then you know you do with that what you want to do, perhaps with other coins or whatever. I mean, it's just depending on if you just want to accumulate it.
I'll get on the waiting list.
It will go up. So say for instance, you start to accumulate it, and so we just had it drop down to like 42,000 over the weekend.
Yeah.
You know, and we anticipated that because of the people that I follow. So I knew that they said that this was going to be the correction. Now, what is it? Will it stay and continue to escalate before the end of the year? There's a lot of people that project that it will increase to probably 70 plus
Yeah,
K before the end of the year.
I was listening.
So then you
and-
win, right?
Yeah. So like, it's basically with anything, buy low.
Right.
You know. and-
Just depends on how much you want to bite off
And
for
it,
fraction.
but the thing is, there's a lot more risk because you don't get as much
Well,
bang for your buck. Like if I buy something that's 62 cents, you know, for one of theirs, then I'm gonna get a lot more for my money. You
Right.
know, if
And
I'm
that's
doing
true.
all point or whatever.
And that's true, but even if you fractionalize and bite off, say if it goes up, the day that you buy it goes up like, you know, a $5,000 swing, you make profit.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, so it can go, you just know it's highly volatile. So it
And
just
I
depends
think-
on when you get
and
in
I-
and when you get out.
And I think there's also a lot to do with the whales.
Yeah.
Basically, what they
The
do.
whales
how
have been
they
trying to force it
manipulate
down.
things all the time.
So
They're
everybody
trying to,
says,
you know, manipulate things. They're like, oh,
they just try to drive it down because they're trying to get all the holders to sell. But those that are committed, they're not gonna sell.
Well, that kind of leads to the next.
They're gonna hold it.
question. How do you?
That's how they got
do you-
wealthy.
How do
Holding
you
it.
realize your gains or?
You have to
if
track
you
it.
choose to
You
do
know.
that, how do you spend it without getting?
I think that the magic number is still gonna be around. I think that there was rumors that they were gonna try to make these exchanges report anything over $600. I had a young lady about 2 months ago, somebody hacked her phone number and was trying to get to her Coinbase. She panicked. And, you know, I can understand what she did, but what she did is she created a problem for herself. Coinbase just sent you a $200,000 cashier's check. So that means that's a taxable event. And if you don't report it, the IRS is gonna know about it. And you said you are on disability, and you're caregiver to your child, and you're driving a brand new car. She, you know, panicked, but see, where did you get all this money from, right? That's what the question would be. And they're gonna want their 40%. So, yeah, I understand why she did what she did, but she put herself in a scenario because she was trying to get it all out because she was thinking someone that she knew. She went to the phone store and did a swap. And the young guy at the counter was going to swap. Said, "Oh, these apps are looking at." See what I'm saying? You see, people don't think about that though, right? You just don't, right? That's why you gotta educate yourself and know what's going on here. Because you basically eliminate the banks. You become your own bank, your own exchange, and you're responsible for taking care of your bank.
And I think what you're trying to get at also too is knowing ahead before you start doing it, kind of
And most of the people don't.
what the responsibilities are, like in that particular situation, like now she's gonna have to report it, and now she's gonna have to do something change.
And I let her know that, and she was saying, you know, my, what did she tell me? My disability attorney. I said, wait a minute. Your disability attorney? What does your disability attorney know about crypto? You seem to know a hell of a lot more than he does. 'Cause you got all this Bitcoin. You know what I mean? She had Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum. She had a nice little nest egg, so I can understand, you know, her being, you know, a little scared. You know, but she's a really kind person, and she got to be friends. You know, I mean, you guys are friends, maybe husband and wife or whatever, but this other person that watched what she did, and so he knew what she had and had her phone number. So he was trying to get at it. But we saved it. We got it all back for her. But that's the problem that she's going to have now, is because we didn't instruct her. I tell people, I'm not a financial planner. And all I can do is share what I've been able to do in the space, okay? Your risk, your money, your wallet, you know, but I can attest the fact that I do have publication of people that I'm connected with that have been tracking this IRS thing for a while because people are afraid. I said, you know what? I didn't handle it. The IRS has handed out everything but the kitchen sink to me, so I know. I've been there, done that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I don't worry about that. I said, well, you know, I mean, well, they track you anyway. You got a dumb phone, right? I mean, you ain't got nothing to worry about. Why worry? You know, that's what I look at. It's all education. I don't fault anybody trying to win for their family. Okay? It's here. Yeah, a lot of people are going to be uncomfortable because it's going to eliminate a lot of people that you ain't going to need. It's called proof of work now. Now it's proof of, it used to be proof of stake, now it's proof of work with the way it's structured now, right? But that's basically a trust. It's a trust.
Like, Ethereum or like altcoins why you file it as NFT because it's non-fungible.
No. That's a non-fungible token. That's what an NFT is. An NFT is kind of like,
It's kind of like an early use case for the.
you're going to see, eventually you're going to see NFTs, like say for instance, you have a Picasso, you take a picture of it, and you decide that you want to put it up as an NFT. Someone's going to look at it and say, wow, I want that. And they're going to buy your NFT. And then they're going to hold it for a while, and then when they sell it, you're going to still get kicked back because you have the original. It's going to be the same with no copyright infringements against music, you know, voting eventually. A lot of people don't know that Walmart is already on the blockchain through IBM tracking their vegetables and stuff like that. So you won't hear any more of this. Everybody pull all the lettuce off the shelf because we don't know where it came from anymore. Well, because of the blockchain, now we can know where everything comes from. Who grew it, what time, what lot shipment it came, the whole 9 yards, because it's called information technology. You know what I'm saying? If you got the information, you know what's going on. And it's all education. I just love this thing, man. I don't know. I just, you know, they should have never let me go back to school. I went back to school and finished high school at 55, and then I finished 2 degrees by the time I was 59 in computer science. But yeah, I worked in the hospitality industry for many, many years. And wasn't able to finish school when I was young because my mom was a single parent mom like either of us. Never met or had the privilege to meet my father. I just knew that at 16, it's time for me to get out of here, but these people are crazy. Anyway, with that said, you know, I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you love your family, but there's some, you know, some of my, I'm just saying. I had to go. Ernest, you go. Ernest, yeah.
Hey, I gotta head out. I borrowed the car.
Okay, well, I'm glad to see you coming, but yeah, you can get a hold to us online.
Yeah, how late is meeting?
We usually go from 6:30 to 8:30.
So this today might go to 8:30.
Well, as long as people want to have something to say.
I'll go online home. And sign
Yeah,
in.
you can sign in
Yeah.
when you get home.
Like that.
So,
Yeah.
What
I'm in
is,
the group.
what
I'll
do
see
you?
Okay,
guys in
thank
the
you, man.
future.
Thank you. Okay, for
doing
sure.
this.
Nice to
So-
meet you. Yeah, thank you.
So if you were like, let's say the first, like, let's say you're. cryptocurrency.
I encourage you right away.
And so what would you like tell, like, hey, this is YouTube's or
I got everything that they need. I got programs that they need for anybody that wants to start an opportunity. And I definitely gravitate to get your kid in. I have opportunity to get in right now. We're trying to go to custodial accounts. So, because they want to play the game, we have games, we have NFTs already generated, okay? In this opportunity that I'm in. I'll share the information, go take a look at it if you want. We're already doing all this tokenization. I have the most flexible crypto card in the world, 5 different currencies from your back office. And when you fly, you go right into your back office and change it to any one of those countries' currency and use that MasterCard powered debit card without any exchange fees. You can hold up to 12 different currencies on it. Depending on which one you have, the plastic card, you can hold up to 500 million or 500,000 on that card. Then it scales up to aluminum, steel, and you can get a gold plated or a solid gold one. Now, $35,000 for a solid gold one, but you got unlimited assets you can hold up, precious metals, any crypto you want. I think it's up to 52 million with the $35,000 solid gold MasterCard. But guess what? You don't have to renew it for 5 years, and then they give you a brand new one. The one that you have, you can dump it down to NASA because it's got gold, it's solid gold, 2 ounces of 40-ounce gold, and some diamonds on it. So you know what I'm saying? And I mean, and when you walk up into the place and you lay that bad boy down, people are gonna give you some serious attention. That waiter is gonna be saying, "Oh, what the hell?"
But for someone young, Ernest, wouldn't you agree that even Bitcoin would still be a good investment? Because the upside, if it actually replaces gold, it actually could go up to like 9 or 10 trillion, which basically would put Bitcoin at about 500,000, I think, very close to a million. I forget what 500,000. Yeah, so we don't know. That could happen in 5 years. That could happen in 20 years.
Yeah.
No one really knows because right now it's on schedule to do that. It's already the gold market is collapsing. So like someone who's going to live for a long time, someone who's like long-term popular, like I think Bitcoin is still relevant. But then you're right. I think the conversation we had earlier is that the upside of the smaller coins, the smaller projects, there is an even bigger upside to those because it can explode like your project.
Right.
It could really take off and like you spend a couple $100 now.
My opportunity is a $300 decision. You're set. You can learn everything about blockchain. Just work back just for the Blockchain Academy. These are professionally engineered as part of our ecosystem. We have media. We have GS Bank, first decentralized bank on the blockchain. Gold Standard Bank's been around for 11, 12 years now. Precious metals, and in our Lydia world, we're going to be able to mine precious metals in all of the country. And it's just off the chain, dude. I can't even. I mean, it's a game, okay? I don't play games.
What do you think of all this like farming stuff?
Well, I'm telling you, all of that stuff is going to be. I'm going to tell you, the NFT market in the past 6 months, that's a $50 billion industry. That's just NFTs. Games, that's where it's all headed.
Well, like
that's where all of this is headed.
This one guy, I didn't understand all of it. He was talking about something like that. Talking about all this stuff, but he said he was making $150 a day, easy.
Easy, yeah. Wow. It's just supply and demand.
And I'm like, well,
when they understand,
what are you doing? And it's like,
just Google search non-fungible token. Okay, those are NFTs. Okay, I tell people instead of me sitting here trying to vomit on you, I already know this stuff. Google it. YouTube. I got people I track. I'm just saying this is where I've gathered all my knowledge is following people that I subscribe to, that I have been following, that they're consistent and they're young and very intelligent and they know what they're talking about.
Have
so
you heard
I
of
track them.
Run Guys?
Yep, I've heard of them. Yeah. I mean, I track Banner. Banner is like, this is the guy that used to go around when he could travel. He'd go to all these events, crypto events, and he'd set up and interview all these people. Now he has his own YouTube channel. And this guy's off the chain. I've been following him for 5 or 6 years. So if you go to the American Bitcoin and Cryptocurrency Center on Facebook, you'll see my gold logo. There's over 5.5 years of content that I post on it. And I tell people like my page. I have people liking my page, but they want to leave the garbage. I police my page. If you need something, say, oh, I like your page, but but so-and-so helped me to get this in the Forex trading. I contact you right away. I said, whose page is it? Is this your page? Do you have permission to put this content on my page? No, you don't. So I'm gonna warn you, I appreciate the like. But if I see you post something else that's not irrelevant to what I post on my page, you're gone. It's my page. Took me 6 years to build it. Go build your own. Put your own content up. I don't
So
charge
you can't
people. I don't
say-
charge people. I do charge them for the opportunity to educate them in blockchain. I started to charge people because I give away so much for free. And there's other guys out there that are charging me up the yin yang. I'm not trying to. It's worth it for me to create a relationship with you. You came, you got some knowledge, and you were able to turn some things around in your life. That's worth more to me. Because it's really about wealth. Is really about relationships. Because when you start running around with people that are making money, things change. You know, we want to coach anybody that's coachable. You know, but you know, we don't have control over what's between your ears. You do. That's your computer. And I understand the core mentality. I grew up in poverty. But at some point, when you tell me your story, and I see you tomorrow, and you tell me the same story, I'm gonna ask you this: what are you gonna do about it? As long as necessary. Are you gonna continue to woo-woo, whine? Gonna get old after a while. People are gonna start calling people and say, oh, that's okay. You knock at the door, it's like, oh, that's so time. You know what I mean? Because it's negativity. People don't want to draw the negativity. I know. I want to hang with people that understand what we're doing and how we're going to get there, and they see the vision overall and the opportunity. So I send a video. I don't vomit on people. I know what's in the content of the video. It's a summary of everything that I have to offer. And if you look at that video and you don't see find value, I'm not even going to invite you to the table. Why am I going to waste my time or your time? It comes down to that. You know, you just have to do that. But I'm always available to share the wisdom that has been blessed to me with anyone that wants to learn. And I'm not here to make money out of people. Because you know, when you bless people, you get paid anyway. That's what happens. You get paid anyway.
You know, what's interesting about crypto too is that it really does encourage saving.
Yeah.
I personally, like, I've never been more fiscally conservative than when I got into crypto. Oh man, we gotta buy as much as we can, and it's just about savings. You know, well, I'm very confident that a lot of these projects, especially the go up, like, even if I break even, I have saved some money, and that's really amazing. And you know, I'm hopeful it'll turn into some real money later. But like, I think it's super interesting that, like, you know, I think it encourages really positive, very
Conversation.
You know, it's well,
Global.
not only conversation, but I think fiscal awareness. You know, and it really creates you know, people realize the impact of, you know, dollar cost averaging, right? Just spending a little bit each month, how it can accumulate. You really start to get, and I think that's like for a young person to get into it. In crypto, I think is especially good because it's, you know, like you put money in a savings account right now in the bank, you get like a fraction of 1%.
I tell people, put $100,000 in the bank, you might get $10.
Yeah, and then you know you have the stock market. But
How much
like,
money did they make off your savings?
And the
Right.
stock
That should be
market-
enough to make you mad if you know anything about banking. How the hell do you get to make all this money off of my money? I mean, it's the biggest scam around. People talk about scam. There's your scam. It's a
And then it's kind of crazy when you do take out so much money, then they flag you.
Yeah, they do, because they're supposed to report it to the IRS.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know, it's just like insurance, right? If you roll your insurance policy into where it never gets paid out, you don't have to pay anything, right? But you have to educate yourself on how to do that. So it comes down to, I don't want to deal with all this stuff. I'm just going to pay you to do it. I said, you get an investor from, what is it, Edward Jones, John Hancock, or Fidelity, or whatever. You go in and see these people because of the name, right? You've never met them before that time, right? But because they work in this office, right? You sit there and vomit on them all your personal finances, and you trust this person. You stand over their shoulder every day when they're trading for you. Do you realize they do lose? But at the end of the year, is all they care about. Do they have a dividend or not? And you have been trained to know that sometimes you might not get a dividend. But guess what? I made money. You see, I mean, that's really what it comes down to. So, it's nothing personal. It's just, we keep trusting all these people with your money. You better take a bit of hard look at your money. You know what I'm saying?
I have a question.
Yes.
This is in regards to Bitcoin, but
Mhm.
when do you think the lawsuit's gonna end up?
That's the thing about cease and desist orders and people operating outside of the United States and not falling into compliance. Generally, when these types of things happen, they don't have any money to fight the government. Well, I'm going to allude to this, and hopefully that'll answer your question. I believe it was Amway in the 50s. They went up against the federal government for MLMs. They classified MLMs as scams and not a legitimate entrepreneur opportunity. They won that lawsuit because of that. Amway has done what Amway has done. So what I'm saying is, when you go up against the establishment, the status quo, and you're talking about taking dollars out of people's pockets that have been lucrative in these areas for a long time, one of two things are going to happen. Like they tried to put out all this false propaganda about cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. And people that don't know anything about it, they eat it up. But see, patience is a virtue. And when something's been established that you can't turn off, you can't turn this thing off. So what are they going to do? Chameleon. Be careful about stable coins. I will throw this warning in there. Tether right now because it's 100% stable. But stable coins in general depends on who the stable coin belongs to in the project. Okay. There is a Bitcoin Cash, garbage. It's not true.
Oh, really?
I'm just telling you, Bitcoin Cash is not true. They're using Bitcoin, but it's a chameleon, okay? Bitcoin Cash is still cash, it's still fiat.
But it's like
But
500
who put it?
bucks or something.
But whoever put it out there is a government because they're trying to push their coin out there. That's what they're trying to do. Because they're confusion, right? There's always confusion. That's why I say educate yourself, and you don't get confused. Well, they're using the name Bitcoin Cash. So most people, all they know is Bitcoin. How do I get some Bitcoin? How do I get some Bitcoin?
And
2016, how do I get some Bitcoin? How do I get some
they
Bitcoin?
think that, hey, this is a lot
Exactly.
cheaper than Bitcoin.
Because
so
they
I'm gonna
have
buy
not
it.
educated themselves entirely.
So
to
back
the
to
whole-
XRP.
I think that, there's a possibility. I don't want to make any, I don't deal with it, but I just know that it's a part of some other components that I think it's connected kind of with, I think the Ethereum project or certain, what is the other coin? There's a couple other coins before XRP
It's Ripple.
and Ripple. Yeah, those two. And Ripple's been around for a while too. Okay?
But so the security,
As the Security and Exchange Commission.
yeah, basically
The
They're
Security and Exchange
suing
Commission is
them
coming
because
after
they felt
everybody.
like
Right? They're coming after everybody.
they weren't doing things appropriately. And
Well, they came up with that. We don't know that that's what's been spoken. We don't know for a fact because we don't really know. It's a litigation. Okay. You got to remember you're assumed innocent before proven guilty, but that's not always the case. But in this space, I think it's a good goal for them because they have the money to fight the federal government, obviously. And the others that get the cease and desist order, they don't have the money to fight in the United States government.
There's a thing about XRP that I read about that basically, they basically went after because they were the biggest private tokens, right? And so
Exactly.
the real argument with the SEC, the Security and Exchange Commission, saying, well, they went after them because they were sort of the low-hanging fruit. Because a lot of these tokens are considered securities. And arguably, you could even say Michael Saylor, big guy, CEO that invested in the biggest single company, like $7 trillion worth of
Bitcoin.
$7 billion
in Bitcoin.
in Bitcoin. Yeah, he basically says that everything but Bitcoin might be considered security from the SEC standpoint, and so they just went after XRP because they were one of the biggest ones. I mean, so it really is about decentralization, and so those coins, much like the stable coins, other stable coins are all controlled by central business. And so you become a security when you basically say, hey, we're this private company, we're selling you this token in exchange for value in the future. And that's exactly what a lot of things are offering. And so they went after them just because the market cap, I think, is so big and some other things. But funnily enough, or interesting, is that they found out that actually people in the Security Exchange Commission actually own XRP. Lawyers went after them. They're actually considering that maybe they're one of the first times in SEC history that a case like this actually comes out positively, in a favor of Ripple.
Exactly.
Because it's
That's
super
funny.
messy.
Yeah.
Super messy.
But see, this is
Well,
the
yeah,
things
like
that you
there's
don't
a
know unless
conflict
you
of
research it,
interest,
right?
Yeah.
It's like-
Exactly. That's the problem. So
But it's been going on, and it's like, I think I first bought it when it was like, well, it's actually gone down some, but I think I bought it when it was 29 cents. And then they were talking at that point, this was back last December, that, it's gonna go through, everything's gonna go through, it's and now here we are a year later, and it's still going on.
Well, when you're in litigation, they can go on for a couple more years, who knows? The ultimate thing is who's going to win in the end. And if it goes that long, like he said, they got the money to fight the government, right? And then again, as he just mentioned, the conflict of interest. I mean, how are you going to take this company down when you got people in your own agency that own it, right?
It's really funny too, like, this isn't that XRP, but sometimes you'll get little things because, you Google something about crypto and then you start getting emails about crypto. And so I've been reading, I'll get something like from somebody and they're like, our advisors are saying these particular picks. And I always wonder if this is something that potential people that want to see people buy a whole bunch of this stuff, buy it when it's low and then,
Take off.
Do you understand
Well,
what I mean?
I understand what you're saying. And, and everything is always risky. That's why I say I'm an advocate of educating yourself because there's always different perspectives, opinions, and I don't so much worry about opinions because, it's kind of like assets. Literally, you're anyway, but I said it, assets. People like, we all, sit on it.
Well, one of the things that I've read about, like, in terms of like one of the reasons like the government might drag its feet is that they're in a catch-22 because as soon as they come out with policy, it's an implicit endorsement of cryptocurrencies as an asset class, and it's going to blow up the market. And so that's one consideration, right? And so they're like, whoa, we gotta slow the roll because it's already out of control. I know. I look back on U.S. bank transactions. Oh boy, like I'm sure the bank is looking at my data, records, and they're like, oh my god. How is he not putting his money in our bank?
And you know what might
yeah,
happen?
because
You
Like,
might
see transfers here, like,
You know what's happened to a couple people I know?
Place to buy crypto or something?
Sorry, say that again?
Is it like a note that you bought crypto or something?
No. I haven't actually had any problem. I'm just.
He's
know
just
that,
seeing the
like,
transactions
Oh,
on
yeah,
his
yeah.
account.
Yeah, but
And the banks make notice of that. And I've had a couple people that are 7-figure earners get a letter from the bank saying, we don't think we want to do banking with you anymore because they see that. And it's like, you're not putting your money, basically, you're not putting your money in the bank.
so
So
the
they
bank,
send them a letter saying that you can't bank with us anymore. Just like if somebody writes you a cashier's check, a lot of people don't read the fine print, that if it goes bad, on that account, you may be in good standing, but if you can't make sure it gets paid, they can close your account.
So banks are under attack from online banking too.
Yeah, but no, they want to stick their hand in there and they just can't because they can't. They have to copycat. That's why I said Bitcoin Cash. Anything that's, like he said, connected to an entity personally or corporation or whatever. Yeah, pretty much. Well, it's mined through electricity, obviously, and the people confirming transactions. Those are the miners.
But the developers hold it for the large pool.
Well, the developers are the ones that are the.
yeah, that's a lot of the concern. Well, that's another reason that's concerned about crypto in general, because a lot of them are controlled. So you end up with like, a small band of people own the majority of the token, pump it and dump it. And like that's a real problem. And so there's been a lot of people getting ripped off. So they're trying to create sensible policies so that doesn't happen. But as soon as they come out with policy, it's a green light for the whole industry.
Exactly.
And then it's only going to further kill banking, and the traditional financial systems are just going to crash because it's gonna be a green light for everybody to just climb into Bitcoin and Ethereum and all the DeFi products are out there because all the fees are lower. It's easier to save. It's easier to take your money and travel internationally.
Exactly.
Everything's easier, so they don't want to endorse it. And then the other thing that I've heard that is really interesting about endorsing Bitcoin from a government standpoint, right, is that they might actually be in a position where they're secretly having to accumulate
Yeah,
as
that's
much
what they've been
Bitcoin
doing. That's what
as
they've been doing.
possible, because as soon as if the government doesn't participate in the purchase of the cryptos, then they're left out of the race. So
Exactly.
like every government in the world, which is what I've read, is probably trying to accumulate as much cryptocurrency as possible.
We know that North Korea has done that for years. Russia, all these other China, other places, Russia, the whole 9 yards, because they understand the value in it.
Well,
And it's kind of like if you're not in the game, like you said, you get left out of the game. When the only game in town starts to fall apart, what do you got?
and the other thing too is that cryptocurrency is something that could be used worldwide
And it is.
instead of, US to pounds or, whatever.
Exactly.
And so it's kind of that one world.
It's the answer to the
currency.
problems of giving people more control over their assets.
Right, and the real problem with giving people we don't want people to actually have control of their assets. We definitely don't want them to have control of the money because the federal reserves, the banking, the federal banks in each country basically has license to print new money, which debases the value of the money. And that's the real tragedy, right? I forget. There's a bunch of statistics you can look about inflation. Inflation is creeping up faster. I've heard probably realistically closer to 12%. They just federally came out and said we're at 6.2%, which isn't been that high. The PCI, it's called a measure of inflation, since like 1930. It's never been that high, and people know for a fact it's way higher than that. And the problem with inflation is that it's a way to basically tax poor people who don't have assets and to increase the value of assets to the wealthy ruling class. Real estate, art, everything goes up in value. So that's really what's going on with inflation. So Bitcoin and cryptos in general are a way to get away from the fiat currency standard where we're being invisibly taxed on the money year after year and the value of what we buy goes down. And that's really kind of one of the other underlying reasons. I feel like if I'm going to store my wealth, I don't want it to necessarily, I'm stoked that Bitcoin goes up 107% per year, right? And I have a little bit of it. It's going to turn into something in the future. But at the very least, I'm not holding cash, which arguably right now you're losing, 10 to 12%, but potentially in buying power every year. You hold it in the bank account. And I think most people don't even really know that.
No,
And that's
they're not
a big point. That's why I have those conversations with people all the time. Like, oh, well, maybe you don't get it or understand it, but how about the money you got in all your paychecks right now, and you're putting it, you're saving for a house, oh, you're losing 12% annually of buying power of that cash. So I think that crypto in general offers a lot of solutions.
It does.
I probably know.
Because you got in where you fit in, and you're gradually accumulating it
And I didn't
your
really
knowledge.
put it back in my account. I basically, if I made a profit, I bought something else,
Mhm.
and then I buy
As long as you don't have a event that's more than $600, I would just say like that. Because I don't even trying to flirt that $600 number around to track people, right? Because they know most people know if they keep it under, or should know now, if they keep it under 10,000, the IRS is probably not going to take a look at it, right? But that's proposed legislation for minors, okay? Because you have to understand, miners that are mining, they make a lot of money, okay? Especially depending on the level of mining they're doing. And they're the ones that sometimes get involved in these startups. Like, I got a guy that's a part of our group, and he's down in the Seattle area, James, and he's popped in every now and then. He's on the DeFi project like that he's personally involved in.
So I'm assuming, even though we don't technically have to, ethically, you probably put it in as capital gains, right? Could we get
At this
As long
point,
as you don't spend it.
yeah, basically, it's a commodity. As long as you don't spend it, it's not a taxable
And
thing.
that's the
Yeah.
question, is like, what's the use case for like, if you're, like you were saying, like you buy it, loan, take a loan against it for immediate,
Mhm.
GDP value, and then you spend it. How do you use your Bitcoin? Bitcoin becomes.
Well, you have to be with a project that's allowing you to do that before.
How do you use, decide?
You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you, it's still in development. A lot of the stuff, as I tell people, I caution them because nothing has really ever been really tested. You know, unless you're involved in a project. I'm involved in a project and I see how it's working for the past year. And I'm optimistic about any other project that alludes in that area because it is an amazing way to finance a lot of things, right? Because of the ability for it to continue to yield for you. And you can take that yield and pay it off.
So what do you,
I
how,
see things like you can buy a Tesla.
Right, that's a good
I'm curious to
argument.
know like what your interactions are, how do you?
like, how do you go about actually,
Well,
Maybe
Tesla, I
your
believe,
Bitcoin-
accepts Bitcoin or was.
So see, I wouldn't want to do that. So I think you might have the same question, right? Like, how do you spend money? How do you use money against your asset, right? Is that
Yeah.
kind of your question? So like,
Or
Well,
like
here's
you're
an
trying to
example.
convince someone, they're like, hey, this is real, like, I can buy this for you.
well, that's a separate conversation.
Yeah, that's-
Yeah, don't even bother.
Yeah,
I mean, try to share with them, but generally, I think in terms of like, this is what, that's so, I love Michael Saylor talks about this so much, dude.
You know who he
Totally
is?
makes sense.
You know who he is? Like I said,
He's the
look him up.
CEO of MicroStrategies, and he
Look
took
him up. He's
$230
very
million, $7 billion in Bitcoin. He bought it, he bought $230 million worth, and then lent out,
Leveraged
basically leveraged it to buy it, and now they're up to 7 billion. And now they're a Bitcoin company, and he calls it, he considers them a digital property company. And then they're also a software company secondarily. So now they're made way more successful guys, assuming the price holds over time. But he talks about this a lot. So and I've been really confused about this when I first heard about it. It's something that I hope we eventually can get to that where it actually becomes not a value, but like, let's say your Bitcoin or your crypto or whatever your project is turns into $100,000, right? You can go right now onto a banking app. You can go to BlockFi, Celsius, and there's a
Yeah,
couple.
Celsius.
There's a bunch of them. But
Gemini.
Gemini, yeah, there's a bunch of them now popping up. You can go. You can use your phone, send your crypto or your ledger. Ideally, you use a hardware device. Send your crypto to the bank, to BlockFi, for example, .com, and deposit your 100,000 value in whatever token, whatever coin you want. You can actually take out a loan against that. Let's say you want to borrow $20,000, right? You could borrow $20,000 at 10% interest, right? So you owe $200, right? You're 2,000 or 20,000 plus $200 at the end of a 1-year loan. So you can now borrow at 20. So now you've got 22,000.
22,000.
Sorry.
Yeah.
$22,000 now that you owe BlockFi, right? Well, you're paying 10% interest on that money.
Somebody
right?
else.
So you're
Hi, hello. Can you hear me? Mogeli? Is that right? Mo?
is that the guy that was here?
Oh yeah, that's
Hey,
right.
how's it going?
I thought he said his name was so much. I thought it was an H. Oh, maybe.
Yet another nickname.
Oh,
Welcome. So
Hello.
let me finish with the real example
Yeah.
here, right? Because I think this is really, I just finally wrapped my head around it. So how do you live on your cryptocurrencies in the future when they become valuable without actually spending? So this
Or
is
when
how,
I get it, that's better.
well, there's that too. That's a separate issue as well. But let's just say our cryptos continue to go up in value. You've now accumulated, let's say, enough one token. It's now worth $100,000 currently. You go upload it. A couple transactions. I usually do things in like 3 transactions. You say transfer the money anywhere. But transfer your $100,000 to BlockFi's website, and then you instantly apply for a loan. And they will, if they get approved, they send you to a bank account of your choice that money. And you will get it in less than 24 hours, usually, probably sometimes they say 48. That money goes into your account, and now you've got cash, and you borrowed, let's say, $20,000 against $100,000. You owe 10% interest on that. So that's going to be $22,000 now that you owe in 1 year. So you have to make payments on that now. Now you currently have to make maybe it's $100, $150 a month payments, and that just pays for the interest. You have to pay off, and then at the end of that 1 year period, you still owe the difference that you haven't paid. So that you still owe the $20,000. So all you paid off is the interest. Right. So in that period, the underlying asset on BlockFi.com, let's say Bitcoin, is now appreciated 170%. And so now the underlying asset you've got on their ledgers is now worth more. You can go to them, you can actually renegotiate your loan, refinance your loan, much like you do with a lender, or much like homeowners do. You just refinance, you go to a different bank, get another loan, and you got that money. And so people just sort of roll loans. And the advantage to doing that, why someone would do that is because, one, you never have to sell your Bitcoin. So now your Bitcoin, if you put in $100,000, it's now worth $170,000. You own, this is in their bank account, blocked by $170,000 worth of value. You owe them $22,000 at the end of 1 year. Well, that's fine. You can either renegotiate the loan, you can go to a different bank, right? And say, hey, I want to take out a loan with you for another crypto or
$40,000. Yeah. And then you pay off the 20 grand, and then you get, and you never lose your Bitcoin.
And you
And
never
you
lose
never
your
have to
Bitcoin.
pay that capital gains tax.
Exactly.
Because you're not taking out your
It's not a-
Bitcoin, you're not transferring it into cash.
Right, it's not a taxable event.
Taking the loan on it.
And you never pay income tax anymore.
Have you
because
done that?
It's in small amounts, yes. And it's super, I've done it with BlockFi, and it was actually, we just did it as an experiment. Oh, this works.
Is it hard to, I mean,
We got it in less than 24 hours later, we had.
well, I know, like, I was talking to a friend of ours, Kyle, and he was saying, which I don't know, never saw my Bitcoin.
Yep.
Because this is, we can use it as a
Continue to
way
roll it
to
over.
roll it over and use it as a way to
Yep.
get things like you're talking about. And so, I was like, wow.
And that's all just being educated. Kyle is very educated because, we've been doing this thing a long time. And these things, like I said, just come to curation in the last 4 or 5 years because, in 2016, these things weren't available. So that's rapidly how things are growing in this space. And I think that it just behooves everybody to educate themselves because, why wouldn't you want to be educated? It's another monetary system that you can maybe make lessen some of the burden and provide more freedom and time for you and your family. But I think that for the most part, that's all we're trying to do is to free up time. Because time is so precious, especially if you work all the time and your significant other works all the time and you have kids. I know I just get to see a lot of things that I didn't have as a child. And I get excited for them because, I never had those opportunities, you know what I mean? So it's not a jealousy thing, it's just an appreciation for how things could have been. But still, things happen the way that they could because it put me in a position where I was able to recognize all these things and have more of an appreciation for what they don't even understand they have. Does that make sense? So it's just education really when it comes down to people get caught up in the rat race. And oftentimes people say you don't stop to smell the coffee. And I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and walk my dog, and it's a peaceful time. Most people are sleeping. Like Kawan said tonight, we get on social media and do what we do at 4 o'clock in the morning because the algorithm is in our favor. Not as many people on. Most people are like, we've done 2 or 3. I could probably have built a website in a 4-hour period, and people are just getting up 4 hours later. And they say, well, you're up this early. I mean, you guys are sleeping late. You got up at 10. Look at you. You love that sleep. My perspective is I have a lot of time to sleep when it's all over.
I have a question. Why did the other 2 nights ago crash?
It was predicted.
Was it because of
It's because of the COVID-19. I mean, you saw what happened to the Dow Jones, S&P, and Nasdaq last week. I mean, they lost close to 3 to 4%.
That goes back to like the deep, I think, like if there is like a unravel, doesn't that unravel all the loans?
Yeah, if you borrow, yeah, for
If you
sure.
borrow.
You're gambling on.
Oh, it's modified, because all of a sudden that's their risk that they're taking,
No.
they're loaning you that money,
No,
because
it's
now
your
they're
risk.
under.
It's
It's
your
your
risk.
risk.
Sure.
If Bitcoin goes lower than the value that you first put in there.
Right. See, that's the thing
The
to work on.
loaning agent is gonna make you pay more to keep that $100,000.
Right, because you got to keep it at that
So
amount.
that's what happened. That's what happened.
Whoa.
And they may not have it. And they can't
Right,
pay it,
and
and
it's
then,
like they have to sell it.
that's right,
So
then
that's what
they
can happen
take
on
all of the
modified
Bitcoin.
ones.
Right.
That kind of like, it works, but then if it unravels really quick, then it's like, shoot. A lot of people
Yeah.
have to sell it back, and then
I mean, there's always possibilities, right?
It
You
could
know,
go
I mean,
both
you know,
ways.
there's no guarantees in life. Right? But the point is, it is on you, because they're going to expect you to maintain whatever that loan amount was.
I understand that a lot of futures contracts on Bitcoin actually expired on Friday. That was based on it. That basically, a lot of people said, yes, I'll buy Bitcoin if it's at a certain price, you know, a month ago or whatever, several months ago. I don't know whether or not futures work, but they said, you know, we'll buy it if it's at this price. And then Friday came up a month later, and our next day sort of entered that contract. And then the price was lower. They decided not to buy it. And so it crashed, it pushed the market negative.
That's exactly what happened.
It was just a shitload of transactions that just fell apart.
But it bounced back.
And then COVID.
It bounced back. Because see, that's what's good about this time around, is we've seen it tested. People was expecting it to continue to tank. But like I said, I watched these guys and listened to them. They already predicted that this was going to happen before it happened. But they said we would know if it bounced back. And it hasn't bounced back to like what 70,000 like 2 weeks ago. That was a record high. But it's continually to bounce back. Like in 2016, it started sliding from 20,000 to 19,000 to 18,000, 15,000.
Yeah,
Eventually went down to 3,000. The people were just panicking. Right, but these are the people that don't understand probably, because everybody in 2008, you know, when it was 5 cents, 3 cents, went to 5 cents, then it went to $1, it went to 150, then it went to 5, and then it went to 1,300, but it went down, and people panicked. Oh, I'm done, you know, because they're not trained to hold, right? But all the people that just held it, the gamers, you know, because for them it had value, but they didn't see the value that it had at the time. If that makes any sense, right?
someone kind of told me that was the future of, because it's healthy to flush out the margin.
It is. It is. And so it was a dump, like I said, it was anticipated by the people that I follow. Actually, they were anticipating that it would fall around 52. You know, they were talking 52. So, you know,
If you look at the history actually between like whatever 2014, 2017, the last big run up, the last big bull run, that it dipped more than 30% leading up to the peak in 2017, 2018. It dipped up, it went down at 30% dumps in less than like a day, like 4 times.
Yeah.
Leading up to that bull run. So this
Yep.
is totally character.
it's the character of the nature of the space, right?
Well, they're talking about, I mean, guys, I was listening to maybe 42.
And it actually hit 40.
Yeah, and then go up, but up to 70, not before the new year.
Yeah, but they predict it's gonna probably push past 70 before the end of the year, which is good.
You'll hear about Plan B, the guy who came up with the stock to flow model, which is pretty valuable sort of price predictor graph. The guy's name is Plan B. He's a Dutch trader. Okay. Who does a lot of
Plan B is what they call
Plan B is his name.
So we
Yeah.
Google them and probably find it.
Oh yeah, he's really well known. He did the famous model called the stock to flow, and it really just prices Bitcoin as if it was going to replace gold, and it puts price projections. And so far, up until literally this week, it had held with the model. It
Is that-
finally actually just broke the model this week for some reason. So
Okay, I'll have to check him out.
it's back into the target, which does put Bitcoin above $100,000 in the next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, the biggest hold up for the whole industry has been EFTs. So, people have been kind of leery because, you know, there's, you know, it's kind of like the FDIC, right? Heavily insured account or whatever, you know. People are still not completely, those that are not in it are not confident. Those of us that have seen these trends, we anticipated, and I hear all of this stuff all the time. I just smile and laugh. It's just, and it's usually people that don't know anything about it, that have done any research. You know, they're following certain people. I listen to everybody, and I don't pick out any good stuff or bad. I put it all up there. You go to my web page or my page on Facebook, everything is there. You know, good and bad, in between, whatever, because I want people to have access to it. Because these are people I follow. And guess what? They're YouTube channels, and you can subscribe and follow them too if you want to. So I've been following them for 5, 6 years, and these guys are sharp. Know what they're talking about.
Ernest, what's your YouTube channel?
My YouTube, oh, you mean my page on Facebook?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called the American Bitcoin and Cryptocurrency Center. I forget what they call that little thing. It looks like a little 8. Yeah, you'll see mine.
Infinity,
Is that what it is? That sign?
a sideways 8.
Yeah, you know what it is. I always want to call it an @ sign, but it's not.
Ampersand.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's your ampersand. And that's what it is. American Bitcoin ampersand Cryptocurrency Center on Facebook. And you'll find it. You see a gold logo there.
It's been great talking to.
Awesome. Or you can, yeah. You can
All
find
right,
it.
what's your name again?
Jenny,
Jenny.
Jenny.
Oh, nice
Nice
to
to
meet
meet
you.
you.
nice to meet you guys. What's your
Yeah.
name?
I'm TJ.
TJ,
Ray.
Ray,
And Aaron.
Aaron.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, good to see you,
Talk
sister.
again, hopefully, I will remember your names. I'm terrible.
It will be a test.
Okay. But it's good to see other
Yeah,
people.
that's what we
interested
enjoy
in it.
about it. It's just we met some fantastic people over the past almost 6 years, on and off. You know, just curious to know more about. We got a girl that's down in the Seattle area. She's going to try to get up here. She's actually an economist, right? So she's very interesting to talk to, very sharp. You know, and I love that because you just bring people, you meet people, and you know, people can stay in touch. You know, on Meetup, on our page. You know, because I think we have over 300 members so far.
Wow.
You know, so you know, join the page. We always keep it updated. You know, you can also messenger us there. You know, so.
I think I like the idea of like, kind of,
Gathering.
gathering, seeing what's worked with some people,
Mhm.
kind of see where other people.
That's why
Because
we
I
love what
like
we're
you
doing.
learn, I mean, it's just like anything, you learn
Right.
from other people too, like what
mhm.
they found works, what it doesn't work.
That's the value.
Who they're talking to,
Mhm.
you know what I mean, and what they're.
You want to connect with people that know a little bit something about what they're doing. Okay, you know, we're open for everybody, even the people that have never done that. I hope that everybody's finding value that's still on here. Are you still there, Ben?
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay, are you listening?
I am.
Okay, are you taking notes?
There's a lot that I need to learn.
And you know what? You don't have to take it all in one setting. You know, that's what we're here for. The group, you can reach out to me or Dan in the group anytime via email. You know, we're available, so doesn't always have to be the first Monday of every month. We are hoping to do more in-town events up here in the Bellingham area. We've been working with a couple of restaurants here to actually get them to maybe turn on their POS system and accept Bitcoin. You know, and actually go out for a beer, or have, you know, lunch or something like that. That's what we're hoping for. Right? We used to have a Bitcoin ATM machine in Bella Stern Mall, but they took it out, and I think it's still people pull it up on the map. They took it out about 4 or 5 years ago because the mall wanted to charge them a crazy amount of money just to have it. You know what I mean? You know, it just wasn't all set in the call. Like that. It just, you know, when people are trying to do something different, people try to, you know, take it back. But just like if you want to go to Canada, you want your test done today, $300. You know what I mean?
Can I tell this girl one
Yes,
thing?
yes.
Young lady, I don't know how to say your name.
Ben,
right, But
Ben.
anyway, don't get overwhelmed. The first time I ever read anything about Bitcoin, I'm like, what is this Bitcoin stuff? So I mean, it's like there is so much to learn, and
But
the
you've done a
more
good job,
the more that you learn, the more that you realize you don't know. So
It's a lot to learn,
there's a lot, so don't get overwhelmed.
but just do a little bit at a time. Do what you're comfortable with. You have any questions about anything? You know, you need an exchange, but I did wanted to say this to you that PayPal does offer 4 different cryptos. In case you didn't know that. Okay, so if you have a PayPal account, just do a search for cryptocurrencies. I think they have Bitcoin. I think they have Tether. I think they have, I'm sorry, Ethereum, Litecoin, and I think there's one other. Don't get me lying, but just search PayPal. On
So-
Cash App is only Bitcoin.
So what
Yeah.
were you saying with Tether? What's not good with Tether?
Well, Tether is a good one because if you're wanting to trade in Bitcoin, profit when you get gains and whatever you're trading in, convert it to Tether. I say convert it to Tether because Tether is the most popular stable coin out there. It holds 100% of its value. And what I mean by 100% of its value is crypto in general is very volatile. You can swing 30% today and swing 30% tomorrow. Okay. So basically, when you do a transaction, you want to make sure you're doing it really quick if you're trying to get it at a certain price because it could change in seconds.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It can.
So you just want
And
to be.
even when you try to do something, then you try to sell it, it'll say, I am sorry, but it's changed. You can't do it now.
You know, because they want to get their fees, so you just want to be aware of that. You know,
Yeah.
You know, it's the nature of the game.
Mhm.
You know, if you're a trader, then you know when you want to pull your rewards, and then you just want to convert that reward, whether it be Bitcoin, Ethereum, because you know that it can be volatile. Whatever you got rewarded 10 seconds ago, it could change in 10 seconds later. So you get stable coin, Tether, and you don't have to worry about it.
But didn't you say something about Tether, about it not being good? I can't remember.
Well, there's some stable coins. Tether is the most popular stable coin out there, and it's the one that I use and other people that trade.
You're just saying like don't invest in it. It's not gonna make you.
Well, it's kind of a decentralized coin. That's why it holds. It's not decentralized, centralized coin because it holds 100% of the value. So it's backed by a centralized bank.
Oh.
Okay. It's got cash back to that. Right. Exactly. So it's good because you know that you don't have to worry about it. The price change. Your value is going to be there tomorrow. You can continue to trade, and you just trade it as stable and turn it back into fiat or buy another coin, more Bitcoin. Okay.
Nice to meet you.
All right, Jenny. Good to see you, dear. Take
So
care.
maybe
Yeah.
another month, is that?
The first Monday of every month. Okay, you can attend physically or online, whatever works for you. Okay. All right. Good to see you. You're welcome. Good night.
Ernest,
Yes.
we brought you some sauerkraut,
What?
some fermented cabbage.
Oh my goodness. Are you serious? That's very nice. I like cabbage. Okay.
Full of
Yeah.
probiotics and prebiotics, keep the gut healthy.
Thank you. And I try to do that because I'm a diabetic, so I'm definitely got a dietitian. That's why I walk a lot, you know. I walk probably about. I tell people the cheapest fitness plan is walking for $3. I walk about 3 miles, but we got really good with that. And so I'm thinking about almost 50,000 steps. You know, a day. So you gotta take care of your temple. You know, you're so sweet. Thank you so much. I was wondering what that was. I said, oh no, I mean it's really nice, you know. I'll have to invite some more people. Maybe I might get some more.
It
That's
doesn't
very
need to
sweet.
go in the refrigerator.
Oh, that's very sweet. Yeah.
Submerged in brine, all will be fine. So if we eat the cabbage, like press it down, make sure it's under the brine. If it's not, like put it in the refrigerator. Then
Cool. Thank you so much.
out on the counter, it'll last you like 2 or 3 weeks. But if you put it in the fridge, it'll last you like 6 months. So it doesn't really go bad.
That's very sweet. Thank you very much. I love life. So yeah, so is anybody else have any questions there that are joining us online there. You know, we here in the physical location kind of took it all over, but you know, we want you guys to know that, you know, we got much love for you too. So if you'd like to ask any questions while we're still here, there's some very knowledgeable people here that might be able to answer any questions you may have. Oh, okay, good job. No questions. You got any questions, Ben?
I feel like next meeting I will have a lot.
Okay, well, that's fine. You know, and that's, I want you to feel comfortable. This is what we're here for. We love doing this and helping people to educate themselves because it's very important that you're knowledgeable of this, because if you get the education, you're less likely to get taken advantage of, because that's what we do here. We talk about all things Bitcoin, you know, depending on what it is that you want to know, what you want to learn. But most people just want to get started. And you can't get started without an exchange, okay? And I think you heard some things to be kind of careful about in the future as you start to become more knowledgeable in building some assets in this space. But right now you're all for green, and you know, we're here to point you in the right direction and get you started. But like I said, Cash App is probably your quickest opportunity, unless you have a PayPal account. Both will require KYC. And KYC is simply know your customer. Make sure
Okay.
you're not trying to embezzle money, sex trafficking, drugs, you know, all the things that fiat currency gets a roll for. So, you know, have you ever took some dollar bills or money to put on their black lights? You might see some things you don't want to see, right? So that's all propaganda, but that's what it is. That's how they keep people living in fear, right?
Mm.
You know, and if you stay afraid, you'll never start it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't cost a lot to get started. Seriously. I mean, if there's some opportunities where we'll teach you everything you need to know, but there's some fractionalization opportunities out there that you can get started for probably less than $500. Okay.
Mm.
And you'll get a full education. And I'm an advocate for education, because if the people are educated, they'll know what decisions to make for themselves. I'm not here to make decisions for people. You know, I'm not here to know how deep your pocketbook is. You know, we know how deep your pocketbook is and what you're willing to do. And like everybody says, in any kind of rewarding, I won't use the word investment, rewarding of yourself, just make sure you don't put everything in the same basket, and make sure you don't ever give up the golden egg.
Yeah.
If you give up the golden egg, you can't produce anything else. Yeah, exactly. Make sure you,
Yeah. I'm very curious to know what you look for when you're, like, you said the tether or the hardware wallet. What do you guys look for when you're?
well, we have two that we use, and when you're ready to do that, we'll point you in the right direction. Just make sure you get it directly from the company and don't buy it on eBay, because you get in trouble because somebody will hack it. Make sure you get it from the source. It comes directly from the device to you. And any,
That's like cold storage. There's like
We-
hot storage and cold storage. And hot storage is like a.
yeah, pretty much like your phone or a device. You know, it could be a Chromebook, could be a desktop, laptop.
So does it go like cold storage is yours, unplugged,
You have it all the time.
hot storage is on your phone, and then looks like Coinbase or like a exchange, yeah, then that would be
But those are custodial wallets owned by them.
representation of what you bought.
Right.
But
And
so
I
you
would,
put it onto your or your app
Cool.
or whatever.
Mhm. It's usable.
Is that,
It's usable. You gotta-
wondering what your thoughts are.
Well, I would say that right now, unless you're accumulating a lot of crypto, I wouldn't worry so much about it right now. I would advise you never to leave any more crypto on your exchanges other than what you're trying to purchase for what you're trying. You know what I'm saying? So you go to the exchange to get the amount of crypto that you want to purchase, and then you take it right off right away. Okay? Don't leave your money. Don't leave your nest egg on Coinbase or any of those platforms. If they go down, it's gone. Okay.
And the hard wallets, like a Ledger, the Trezor Ledger, has each other?
This-
Nano.
Sorry, no,
Nano,
sorry, the
Nano Ledger. and-
Nano Ledger, yeah, they've actually never been
Hacked.
hacked, yeah, it's always been safe, like people have attempted, there's been bugs, but it's always been,
You're pretty safe, bet. I love mine. I like mine. Yep.
And then there's also services like Casa, which do multi-signature security. So like they would basically provide the service of forcing your crypto to be on a wallet that requires 3 different signatures, from 3 different separate entities that are physically in different locations. So like one might be your Trezor or your Ledger Nano would be one of the signatures. Another signature might be your on your phone, for example, and the third one would be with their service, their signing service. And so like you can't sell or receive any, depends on how you set it up. You can't sell any Bitcoin until all 3 signatures approve. So they send you an email approving it, and you do it on your phone, and then you also do it on your hardware. It's pretty simple.
And the other alternative is I use Google Authenticator because of the Android phone. So that's a second layer of security. So even though, somebody might have my username and password, let's say they have that 6-digit code that randomly changes every 60 seconds. They can't get into my account. Okay. So those are things that you want to do to make sure that you have the utmost security. I mean, that's really what it's comes down to, the security. And when you have that cold storage wallet, you got all your assets with you for the fire safe or
You travel outside the country.
Yeah.
They put a limit on when you're traveling internationally. They always ask how much cash do you have on you?
exactly with
Because
that.
you can't take more than $10,000 of cash out. This is, I learned actually that the luxury watch market is actually about.
Oh yeah, they got one.
It's about taking money out of the country, because the luxury watch market, you can have a $100,000 watch.
Yeah.
And pretty much go anywhere in the world and sell it and get your cash back.
But
And
guess
that's
what? They
actually
got
a lot of what
they got a watch that you can that also is cold storage.
Well, there's, yes, of course.
That's pretty expensive. It's pretty expensive. They're pretty expensive, but they're nice because nobody expects it to be your watch. See what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? So you secured all your assets in a cold storage wallet that's embedded into your watch with a big face. The pretty expensive. I think it was like about 25,000. Yeah, pretty cool. Actually. Yeah. But I mean, when you're making money, yeah.
Yeah, and you gotta spend it on something.
Exactly. And you can write it off. So, anybody else have anything that they want to say there, dear? And like I said, you can sign in next Monday if you want. You can reach out to us via message, our group page. You can leave an email for myself or Dan, and we'd love to assist you in any way. But right now, there's no real stress on you. You just have to determine how much fake money, paper money, you want to convert to crypto, and then just start. You can go on Coinbase and buy $100. Not Coinbase, but I mean Cash App, and buy $100 at a time. Same on PayPal. So you get your feet wet and get comfortable, learn how to do the transactions.
So I'm curious, why do you recommend Cash App over
It's the
Coinbase?
because I don't like Coinbase. I just don't like Coinbase. I had so many problems with them, during that period of time, and there's still some fumes, but you're making this so hard for me for this chump change, keep it. So, Robin Hood is not, Robin Hood, you know the name? You know the name? We have a joke about Robin Hood. Robin the Hood. Literally, seriously. I mean, because they're just a basic exchange, and they're not even a Bitcoin exchange, really. You can get Bitcoin. I think, like some cryptos or whatever, but I don't know. I don't think PayPal's connected. No. Yeah, not yet. Yeah.
Exchange.
Well, they got to use an exchange because they can't convert the money into unless they use an exchange. Right.
So
So
if you get it on Cash App, then it's locked on the Cash App.
right, you basically you can use Cash App to move money to anyone that you know. Family is free. It's better than Western Union or money. Okay, but a lot of people didn't know that the only crypto
You can
they
sell it.
Yeah, you can sell it on Cash App. Yeah, I do it all the time. I buy some Bitcoin, then I convert it. I got a card. It's really neon yellow, and everybody says, "Wow, that's a nice card." I said, "Yeah, I can't leave this one up." You know what I'm saying? So that's what I do. I sell some Bitcoin or some of my crypto and put it on my card. I make sure it's underneath a certain amount. You know what I'm saying? And I can use it and pay for whatever I want to pay for. You know, for dinner, movie, you know, pay a bill, whatever I want to do, right? You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of fun, man. It's just you just have to not try to absorb everything at one time because there's a lot of information out there. You know, the main thing is just knowing what you're willing to invest. You got to exchange it on an exchange. And I tell, because I work with a global market of people, you know, a lot of people from Nigeria. There's 200 million people in Nigeria. Right? And so I work with a lot of people in Nigeria, the Philippines, Vietnam, India, Australia, France, you know, and been doing it for a while. So, you know, bringing the opportunity globally to people. Because you can't stop it, and once people understand it, then, you know, they're gonna just want to deal in space. But I advocate, educate yourself. I mean, I'll answer questions for you, but you know, it's nothing like you applying yourself. I can tell you anything, but you got to still. I still hope you go do your due diligence. What I hope, because you know, you have to make the decision. I'm not a financial planner. I just share with you what I've been able to do, and some of the people in the space have been able to do, and I enjoy doing that. And I enjoy people learning and having the willingness to want to jump in there and take advantage of it.
Talking about learning about stuff, especially not getting taken advantage of when you're new to the space. There's well, I got this advice when I first got into crypto. When using the website coinmarketcap.com is a way better way. Like if you're interested in a token or a website or anything that has to do with crypto, you should go to coinmarketcap, look for it, find the link to it there.
Right.
Don't just Google search it,
Right.
because you're probably going to end up on a fake site.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
very
That's
good.
Very,
like,
very,
video
very,
you're
very
gonna-
smart. Yeah.
So that's always been.
Did you hear that, guys? Go to Market Cap, search for the coin, find the link, and click on the link there. Okay.
Coinmarketcap.com. Yeah.
Coinmarketcap.com. Coinmarketcap.com. Okay. Did you get that, Ben?
Because you can't find the website.
Yep, got that. Thank you.
Yeah, so anytime you're curious about any coin that you've heard about, just go there, find it, click on the link there, okay?
Mhm.
Don't let anybody send it to you, you know, so you don't end up getting misdirected or redirected to a fake site that's a knockoff and you think it's that actual site. They're just trying to get information out of you, hoping that you got some crypto they can take, right? We're gonna keep you straight here. We're gonna keep you educated, and as long as you do that, you know, whatever you decide you want to invest, you know, as long as you have the knowledge and have people that you can reach out to. That's the good thing about it is we make those connections so that you can reach out to anybody that you choose to and just ask questions. It's an open group, and you know, you can post, leave a comment. If it's risque, expect to hear from me. Just kidding. But no, we love what we do. We met some great people, and we love providing them and answering the questions that they have. It's been a great opportunity to do that and educate our community. We wish we had more people in the community. We did. We had about 100 people pretty excited about it. But of course, when you know things start going down, people start disappearing. Right? You know? That's just a natural thing. But you know, you got to weather the storm sometime and stay strong. And things usually, it's the best 401k plan you'll ever find.
Does anybody else find? Yeah, I don't know about you, but I don't know if you use Reddit. Well, Reddit, I find is a really great place. I think it's a terrible place to get financial advice.
Right.
But Reddit and / Bitcoin or / cryptos is actually a really active space for answering or getting a lot of questions that I have. You know, I actually know a bit about crypto, but I go to Reddit and find a lot of the questions that I have are discussed in ad nauseum. For hours, people are threading out.
And that's what I do most of my day after I punch in most of my stuff. I'm always on YouTube learning about, you know, those spaces, NFTs. I think we have the best looking NFT out there, actually. And it generates right in front of your face. You can get a wine glass, an umbrella, ice cream cone. It's pretty amazing. Yeah, 28 USDT smashes in this program. And I'm telling you, I've looked at some of the NFTs out there. I said, they sold that for how much? I said, our NFTs are off the chain. So anyway, but yeah, it's a lot of excitement. Just, dive in there, all you do. I think at what is it? Is it the Barnes and Noble? What's this place over here on the radio? I think it's Barnes and Noble, that store, bookstore. You go there, there's a magazine and you can look it up. It's called, I think it's called Everything You Need to Know About Crypto. It's a magazine and it's pretty thorough. It's not very expensive, maybe about $5 or $6. Start there. Find my page on Facebook. About 6 years worth of it, of knowledge there and content, and people that I know that you'll probably want to follow. I follow. So that's the only way to get on my page. I don't want to put any stuff up there that's going to make people trip up. I'm pretty efficient about that. I'm pretty aimful, actually. Yeah, pretty aimful. I just want to have the right information, right? So, because they'll take off. All of you guys have the ability to learn. Learn it for your household. Your why. You gotta have a dream. And just have big whys and big dreams, and never let anybody steal it. Stay focused to it. I've been able to bless a lot of people who I enjoy doing that. That's the wealth that you share knowledge. Not knowledge. I tell people I share the wealth. Really? I said the wealth of knowledge. It brings people together. So it's been really great meeting you guys, and I hope you come back or check in or line if you're not able to come back. But as far as I know, most people here. See, we don't have a lot of foot traffic here, because you can't get in unless you know somebody or have appointments. The doors are locked 24/7, and you can all come as often as you want. I just live over in Cascade. I walk out the back door, the park there, and I'm at home or go to Whole Food Co-op or Dairy Queen. So I utilize the space here. I don't even have cable or Wi-Fi at my house. I do have it here. I have many devices here, 2 offices here as well. So, and I actually went to school here. This used to be Charter College. And then I got my 4-year degree here, and the federal government paid me because my GPA, 56 years old, it's 3.9. So it's pretty advanced, but I've learned a lot in life. I've been in the hospitality industry for a long time. So when I took that fall, I said, okay, what am I going to do? I'm going to go back and finish high school. Associate's degree in computer science, computer science, and I'm thinking about maybe getting a doctorate on my name as well. So the sky's the limit. All I'm reading, I can achieve whatever I put my mind to. So I enjoy what I do, and it's been a wonderful meet up this month. A lot more people showed up physically. That's good because we were having 1 or 2 people show up physically, but most people would show up online. So we just decided, well, we'll do both. We'll make it available for people that want to just chime in online, come visit us. I'm glad you guys found it too. Are you guys from Bellingham originally? You're like, okay, well, we're like Washington County.
We've been here for a couple months.
Oh, a couple months. Okay, where you guys originally from?
We're all over, but we were living in Port Townsend.
Port Townsend.
Pretty good close.
I did the Port Townsend. I went actually to that place where they filmed Officer and the Gentleman. I think Point Williamson.
Fort Worth, yeah.
I had a wonderful time in Port Townsend. Yeah, it's a beautiful place. It was a summer day, lots to do. Beautiful place.
Well, thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
Good talking to you.
you too, man.
See
Reach
you
out
next time.
anytime. Nice meeting you too. Nice meeting you, madam.
Nice to
Thank
meet
you
you.
so much
Nice
for my
to meet
gift.
you guys.
All right, well, we gonna do it.
See you on
Thank
Long
you.
All right, guys, I'll be
Bye.
right back, but we can officially let you go if you have other things to do. I'll be back momentarily if you'd like to hang out. I'm gonna walk my guests to the door. Okay?
All right. You guys have a nice night.
Okay, you too. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. All right, I don't understand what's going on. Okay, I call you, you don't answer, I'm in the meeting. I don't understand what's going on. I don't have time for this. I just don't have time for this game. Okay, I don't know what it is that you unsent. My phone is charging. I had people just leave. I am working, okay? So I don't know what the look is. I call you, don't even answer. I just finished, and man, I need a wife that acts better than this. The attitude. Okay, whatever. I don't have time for these games. It's just always drama with it. Just can't get past the drama. It's always drama. That's it. I'm not calling anymore. I'll call you when you grow up. You're too immature for me. I can't deal with this any longer. I call you, don't answer my call. You remove stuff from the phone. It's just like, I don't get it. I'm working and I can't even work. You don't pay for anything. You just keep interrupting my business. I can't do this anymore. I need a woman that's mature, that doesn't have an attitude. I don't get it. You call me, you're working. So, okay, well, you're working. I won't focus on my business. Trying to focus on you, but it doesn't work. You're just a distraction. Can't grow up. Always drama. There's so much drama.
Always running.